All right, so Intel is not going to be issuing recalls for the Raptor Lake instability issues, unfortunately. Intel has responded to press inquiries about the instability issues affecting 13th and 14th gen processors. Questions from The Verge to Intel were prompted by an earlier, rather underwhelming statement that did not explicitly confirm how widespread the problem is and how affected customers should address it. The new answers finally clarify what users might do and what they should do if their CPUs are already affected. For the first time, Intel confirmed that the instability problem might affect not only K-series unlocked CPUs, but also non-K versions, which use the 65-watt TDP by default. The most important information, however, is that Intel will not issue a recall. All users impacted by instability issues should consider their CPUs irreversibly damaged, and even the upcoming microcode update will not fix the issue. Furthermore, users who have already tried to RMA their processors due to this issue can now reach out to Intel support again and seek remediation. Now, I think if they are irreversibly damaged, you should file for RMA at the end of the day. It's crazy that it's affecting the entire CPU line. I think as miners, most of us, if not all of us, other than GPU miners are purely utilizing Celeron CPUs, have swapped to utilizing AMD CPUs. Now, I was looking forward to the launch of the 9000 Ryzen CPUs. Unfortunately, that has been delayed. Rumors are it was actually just because of a misprint calling the Ryzen 7 9700 the Ryzen 9 9700, but I'm not too sure if that is the exact reason, but that is the rumor, which is quite funny. At the end of the day, though, if this isn't going to get fixed, this is pretty much a complete wash for Intel on the consumer grade CPU end of things, and everybody will be buying AMD at this point. I currently am streaming from a 14700K. It's been stable up until today, funny enough, where I started experiencing blue screens of death while trying to render in Adobe Premiere. I do have it undervolted. I noticed it was having a ton of weird instability issues at the very beginning because on all of my systems I run a bunch of tests as far as for benchmarking as well as stability testing, and I had caught those very early on in this system, brought down the voltages, and was pretty much stable across the board, like I said, until today. Unfortunately, I think I will try to RMA it. I do have a 12900K sitting in that little test bench over there, so I'll probably throw that in, see if I can get an RMA, and then move on from there. But let me know if you guys are running Intel 13 or 14th gen Raptor Lake CPUs and if you're having any issues and what you plan to do about it. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070s are going to be in short supply in China next month due to the lack of GDDR6X memory. Now, if we read this off the bat, what I was seeing from this rumor surrounding Twitter, especially the mining space, whether you're following Red Panda or Rabbit or whoever it may be, the sentiment was like, oh, we're going to have a shortage again, and then the market's going to take off and it's going to be compounded. We've been waiting for that for a while. That hasn't happened. Now, in this particular case, I don't think it means what we would be dreading it means, which is a shortage of GPUs as a whole. And that is because, like, basically what we have is Hynix is in mass production of GDDR7. Now, the 50 series as well, the 50 series is going to be coming out here in the near future. It's not uncommon to start seeing production slow down on older models. And because we have a new type of memory that needs to be produced, I would assume that they're repurposing a lot of their fabrications to accommodate for the supply of GDDR7 that needs to be made. And so I'm actually not that worried about it. But it does say that the situation in the Chinese GPU market does not always mirror that in other regions as well. Market dynamics, supply chain factors, and local circumstances can vary significantly. Board channels, which provide direct updates from NVIDIA's authorized board partners, often give insights into the current status and official communications between GPU vendors and these companies. Today, it was reported that NVIDIA has informed its partners about a reduced supply of RTX 4070 cards for Chinese all like AIBs. It's important to note that this situation does not necessarily reflect the global GPU market as well. According to our information, some of these companies are currently relocating their graphics card assembly lines from China to bypass restrictions imposed by the US government on producing high-performance cards like the 4090 future models, which is also another compounding factor here as we're hearing shortage, but we're also, everybody's moving out of China for their manufacturing to get around the restrictions, not only on high-powered computing, but also in the event that we see Donald Trump come back into office, I would presume that we would also see higher tariffs on China. So it goes to show that if you want to actually be successful as a business, you would probably move the F out of China. Right. I mean, it would make sense. So it does say NVIDIA has been carefully controlling the supply of its 40 series cards using a scarcity strategy to balance supply and demand. By strictly managing the order quantities for AIC brands, they ensure that Chinese markets get just enough graphics cards for each month or quarter, no more, no less. According to the latest update from NVIDIA, the supply of RTX 4070 and higher models is likely to be even tighter in August than it was in July. The main reason for this expected shortage is a potential lack of GDDR6X memory that NVIDIA might face next month. Now, like I said, I think a lot of this is basically production changing, not only in location, but also in what they're actually manufacturing, because we have GDDR7 needing to be manufactured for the 50 series GPUs. And SK Hynix has confirmed that the mass production of GDDR7 memory will start much sooner than speculated. Previously, AnonTech reported that a company representative had said GDDR7 volume production would not begin until Q1 of 2025. However, the company quickly responded to these claims and confirmed that mass production will start sooner in Q4 of 2024. It seems the rumors have motivated SK Hynix engineers to speed up production of next-gen gaming memory. According to the latest press release, mass production will now start in the third quarter of 2024. And if we're talking about that in general, that is my reasoning behind the fact that essentially not only are we moving production out of China, not only is the shortage projected to be targeting China specifically, but we also have production starting on the 50 series. So it just goes to show that you would start to see reduction of supply in these other GPUs, especially as it pertains to China in this particular case. I don't think blowing out of proportion, saying that we're going to see basically 2021 levels of GPU pricing and scarcity happening anytime soon, at least unless something crazy happens in the next few months, which of course it could, because we have the topic of Bitcoin as a reserve, and then rising tide raises all ships, as they say. Now, I did just put together a system back here with a 7900X or 7950X. Ooh, excuse me. And that is for QuakeCon here next week. Like I said, if you are going to be at QuakeCon, let me know. I'd love to say hi to you, and that would be really cool. Now, I was going to wait until the 31st and pick up one of the new AMD processors so I could not only test it from the mining perspective, but also utilize it in the QuakeCon build and be the cool guy with the brand new processor at QuakeCon, because, that would be fun. But that got delayed to when, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's going to be August 15th or 14th. Is that it? Right? Something along those lines. Yeah, here in the article says the August 15th. So yeah, anyways, there are some leaks of their Cinebench scores, and I am questioning whether or not I'm actually interested in purchasing one at all. So we have data on the Ryzen 9 9900X, the 9700X, and the 9600X. If you scroll down here, I'll show you guys here real quick. The 9900X at stock is only showing a score of 32,216 in Cinebench R23. With PBO, it's a little higher at 34,500. With PBO yesterday on my Ryzen 9 7950X, I had a score of 33,627, and that is on a mini ITX motherboard with only 8 CPU power. So typically, if I put that like in my Tai Chi motherboard, run PBO, I get way above 33,000. So I don't know what the hell's going on with this testing. But right now it's not extremely impressive to me. Well, never mind. I guess I'm completely dumb. We have the 9950X to talk about, and I screwed that up. I was looking at this earlier and I was like, what are these numbers? And that was because I clicked this picture right here. So I saw that wrong. Okay, so let's look at this again. It would be a big performance uplift. Glad I caught myself. So the 9950X stock will be 41,924. So that would actually be a nice performance uplift of 30%. Well, 30% is pretty standard, right? So 30% is going to be what we see year over year with any new generation, but at least it's on par, right? And then the PBO, I think with Expo, which is what I'm running here. So I do have Expo memory, to be clear. I think it's 6,000 on DDR5. That'll be 43,905. So there you go. So I'm still going to get one. I changed my mind. I'm back. I was wrong. I'm buying one. We'll see how it mines. Hopefully it gets a 30% uplift in mining as well. And hopefully the manufacturing issues were literally the misprint, right? So the reason the delay is rumored to be is they were printing Ryzen 9 9700X on the Ryzen 7 series CPUs. And so that's an easy mistake, but that is kind of funny. That's like a mistake I would make in a video title, right? Ryzen 9 9700X. Because I'm like, oh, 9009, just put the 9 there, but it's actually the second number in the SKU that counts for that. So there you go.
Now, you guys mined during the bear market. You made it through. Well, at least maybe a half of you. I know a lot of you motherfuckers over here didn't actually do it, but the ones that did, I have a new shirt for you guys, and it says, I mined with the bears for the bear market, okay? So if you mined with the bears and you want to rep that you did mine during the bear market, go ahead and head on over to shop.sonofatech.com. And the listing will be down below. I'll put it in live chat right now. I have a sweatshirt. There's a sticker if you'd rather have a sticker, t-shirt, premium shirt, all that cool stuff. Really like the new shirt. I ordered a few for myself, and I just had that design finished this week. Eventually it'll be on the YouTube channel, but that takes a little bit of time, so just give it some time. Proceeds, of course, go to supporting me in the channel, so there you go. And I thought we put some work into it, and I thought you guys might enjoy it.